Hi everyone, I'm Hardy, and in this demo I'll be showing you some of the mobile application developments that I've been doing using Objective-C and Xcode. So this is a self-study project that I did after the final exams in the spring term of 2012 at UBC. And as I mentioned, I used Xcode, and right now I'm currently working at two different projects. The first one that I'll show you is a calculator app, which is in itself a work in progress, but I'll just demonstrate some of the features which I've managed to get running. Let's just run the emulator. Alright, so here we are, and before we start typing, I will first maybe familiarize ourselves with this notation of an RPN calculator, reverse Polish notation, and this is how we decided to build the model for this calculator. And if you're not too familiar with it, in RPN, things, all the different operands get accumulated in a stack, and then when an operation such as a plus or a minus come in, it will then consume two operands at a time. So for instance, I can type 1 2 plus, then this will give me a 3, or we can then have 1 2 3 plus plus. This will evaluate as first you will evaluate 2 plus 3, that which will give you 5, and then it will be 1 plus 5, which will give us 6. So that's how it operates. And if I have 1 2 3 plus times, how this will evaluate is it will be 2 multiplied by 3, which is equals to 6, and then the last operation will be 1 plus 6, which will give us 7. So that is RPN. So with that, we can get started with trying this calculator. So again, the UI and everything was designed in Xcode, and they have very friendly UI design capabilities that makes it very easy to develop. So let's start with some simple operations. So 1, enter, 2, enter, plus, as we expect, we get 3. And then we can have the C is the clear button. Let's have a bit more operation. 1 2 3 plus minus. Now that will be 2 plus 3, which is 5, and then 1 minus 5 gives us minus 4. Let's try some division then, or multiplication. So 4 5 9 multiply, divide. That is correct. So that will be 4 divided by 45, which gives us this number. And let's now try some of the single operation buttons, like square root. So we have, say, 81 square root should give us 9, and we can then tie this with another operations. Then I can have 81 square root, and then I will add to that the sign value of 9 plus. Now that gets 9 plus sign of 9, which is 0.4 something, gives us 9.4 something. So things seem to work, and let's try then to crash the app. Say, what happens if we try to divide something by 0? So I can have 5, enter, 0, enter, divide. Now, how we coded this app is that division by 0 is not allowed, and we will return a value of 0 instead of crashing the app. So I think that's a good way to handle exceptions in this case, because we don't want to really crash the calculator app and have the user restart from scratch. What other ways can it crash? For instance, we have the plus minus sign there, so I can have, for instance, 54, and when I click on this, it will multiply that by -1, so minus 54. Now what happens if I press the square root button? It will again give 0 as an invalid, 0 being the result of an invalid operation. Last but not least, I can show you this is what I'm currently still working on, the ability to take in variables, user input variables. And as for now, the variables are the data structure that we use is a dictionary mapping each key, which is the name of the variables x, y, and z, to a value which the user will have to input. But I'm currently just at a stage where I still use dummy values for each of the key, so I just have like a snapshot of a dictionary which I integrate in the data structure. And I think currently my x, I assign it a value of 10, y is 20, and z is 30 in the dictionary. So you can try something like, let's clear it. So 1x and 2y, and I plus them. So here we should expect 1 times 10 plus 2 times 20, so that's 10 times 10 plus 40, which will be 50. So as we expect, that's 50. And we can also do, say, 1x, 8z, multiply, there will be some big number, which is 2,400. So everything works. The several ideas which I'm currently working on are, first, that user's ability to input variable values, and then also I would like to make the top display in this calculator a bit nicer, because you can see how right now whenever I enter a number and I do an operation, it will just append it at the end, which works, but I think that looks quite crude. So I would like to restructure this into a way where if it's a more complicated operation, I should be able to put brackets around the operations and operands so that it just improves readability. And then some of the physical constants I might want to add. Right now I have pi, and maybe later I will also want to add e and some other physical constants. So that's the calculator app, which has been a very good learning. And the second one that I will show you is a game which I developed also in iOS, and that's my launch screen. And this is the game of Bullseye. So let's launch the app now. Alright, and then this is the UI that we first see when we launch the app. And if I want to know what the game is about, I can click on the information button. So here it is. It will say the Bullseye, the awesome game of Bullseye, where you can win points by dragging the slider. The goal is to place the slider as close as possible to the target value, and the closer we are, the more points that we score. So there you go. And then it says here there's several things to watch out. This is the slider, and it can when I drag this Bullseye, it will update the current slider value to anything between 1 and 100. But now this app randomly chooses a number for me to target. So here it's asking me to target number 53. And at the bottom here I have the tally of the score, and I also know how many rounds I've played. This is so we have used the information button, and this is a button to start over, so reset everything to round 1 and score 0. So let's try playing. I think this is 50, so this might be around 53. So let's hit. Almost had it. I scored 149. Now how is this score calculated? We just use a very simple algorithm. If I it's done this way. If I am exactly hitting the point that it wants me to hit, then I get the full 100, plus on top of that I have a bonus of 100 points, so I get a total of 200 points. If I am within 5 points of difference from the target, then I still get whichever the point is plus a 50 bonus point. And then for any other cases where I'm slightly far off, there is no longer bonus points. So just now, if you remember, we get 149, which means I am just 1 point off the target that I was supposed to hit, which is why then I get 99 plus 50, resulting in 149. So now let's play again. 72, I think it's around maybe here. Okay, pretty good. I scored 92. Now notice how I no longer get the bonus now. So 92 means I'm 8 points off from the actual number that they want me to target. And also notice that how the comments here are context sensitive. So here it's telling me it's pretty good. It used to be almost got it, right? And now if I'm a little bit further even, it asked me to hit 62, but I am lazy enough to just put it there and hit, then it will kind of insult me and saying that I do not do so well this time and I only score 63. And okay, and then we noticed that as we play this, my score has been updated to be a cumulative score of all the rounds that I've played, and now I'm at round 4 of the game. And I can then say if I want to restart over or somebody else wants to play, you can click this and there will be a fading transition like that, and setting the score to 0, round to 1, and the bullseye again to the center, and people can just keep playing. Again, almost had it, 149. So that's the game. There are again some improvement ideas that I would like. For instance, I probably want to instead of having me move this, I can also make it a way where Xcode will move this slider along in various speed depending on how expert I am, and then my job is to decide where the automatic motion brings this bullseye to the point that I want, and I will click hit me. So I think that's harder because the motion is something that I couldn't control and it might go really fast and I have to react very quickly. So those are the two. And if you see the icons here are also icons that I created just using a PNG file. The very nice thing about this new Xcode 4 is that it really incorporates the previous version of iOS and the newer one in iPhone 4 with Retina display. So we usually upload 2 different images and they can just scale and size it respectively, whether we are running on an iPhone 3GS type screen, which is still a lower resolution, or if you run it on iPhone 4, which has the Retina display, making everything look really sharp. So, and as I say, I'm currently still working on more features and I'm enjoying it a lot. Thank you for watching the walkthrough.